I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
It's so good to
Drinking my
see you.
second coffee of the day, and I have plenty of work, but it's all good. There you go.
There
Well,
I
cheers.
go. We were just watching the Uebok video, and I was talking about how I love that video so much. As soon as I saw it, it just made me such a huge fan, and I can only imagine how much fun you had filming it. Can you talk to us a little bit about that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing. Like you watch that video, and then I'm supposed to talk because it's kind of a joke. So it's, um, yeah. I mean, obviously, as you can see, it was as much as it kind of looks serious in some moments. It was a total joke.
Oh yeah, for sure. Didn't
Uh,
you like put out a call on social media for people to come through and participate, and then a bunch of random awesome strangers showed up, or is that just
yeah, well, for the scenes with Instasamka, where it's a bit raining and everything is kind of dark and there's a lot of people behind us. Yeah, it was literally just us the day before, just like on social media, on our Instagram stories, like, hey, we're shooting a music video. If you guys want to join in, meet us at 12, like tomorrow in Nizhny Novgorod, in the middle of nowhere in Russia, and people
casual?
showed up. Yeah, it was pretty insane, especially since like it took only a week before like I had the instrumentals, and then I sent it over to Instasamka, and she was like, "Oh, I dig it. Let's collab on that." And then once we shot the music video, it was only like a week after that. So it went like so quick from just like receiving the vocals to like, okay, let's shoot a music video since we're here. Let like fly in and like we're gonna do it now.
That's so awesome.
It went just like that.
Dude, she seems like a total badass in the video. Is that how she is? Is she a little intimidating in person?
Well, she's very small, but she's very badass for sure.
Yeah.
She's kind of known to do her own thing and to really not give a fuck. Like, she's quite hectic, and I know a lot of people dislike her because of it, especially. Yeah, like she just doesn't. She says everything she feels, and she has like no filter, you know. So
I love
some
that.
people
Why
like
not?
have issues with that. I think it's amazing, and like she has done some pretty crazy stuff I've heard, and that's kind of why I wanted to like work with her because she's a little bit of a bomb. Like she can explode at any time, and
Yeah.
that kind of makes her like badass. And but when you meet her, she's not really intimidating. She's really sweet and like, yeah, no, she's really cool.
That's cool. Fun to work with. A little bit of a firecracker. That just makes it more fun.
Yeah, totally.
So that video takes place in Russia. Also, someone is saying hi from Russia. Nyakis. They say your video is mad. They love it.
Oh well, thank you.
And Ladislao says, come to Ukraine. Hashtag fuck Corona.
Yeah, I was kind of supposed to come back already. I really want to go back.
I hope
Yeah.
one day this will all be over.
Yeah, I mean, eventually. Things are not looking quite great yet. I mean, at least for this summer, but hopefully soon we'll get all on the road again and we'll be able to travel.
Yeah. Well, right now you're in Montreal, right? But you grew up in Brussels, I believe. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. So I moved when I was about 19 to study at university. So I came here and I just never left. I mean, it's pretty cool here.
Yeah. What was
like
it
it.
like growing up in Brussels? I mean, Belgium has a huge history with electronic music. Was it something that you were a part of growing up, or is it something you discovered later in life?
No, it's definitely. I mean, I definitely discovered it there in a way that, like, for me, there was no like EDM or electronic music discovery. It's like you grew up and it's just there, like any kind of genre.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, when you grow up, you like the first parties you go to are like shows. I remember when I started going out, I had like a bunch of friends that were going to like the dubstep parties that were like early dubstep, so like really chill stuff.
Ooh,
and I was
yeah.
going drum and bass parties that was like heavier,
Yes.
and it was two different gang. You know, it was like the chill gang and like the harder stuff. And weirdly, I kind of shift from like one to another over the years. But
Yeah. Well, I can feel that. I feel like Renaissance itself is so beautifully dynamic. Like, you've got these really touching moments, and then you've got these hard, brutal moments, and I personally love the album for that dynamic quality.
It started with like the remixes earlier in my career, I guess. When I was a bit younger, I used to like remix classical music, and I loved the mix between both genres. And then we saw over the years, because I was doing a bit of everything. I would do a remix of classical music and then other kind of music, and we would do a bit of both. And over the years, I felt like the classical stuff really stood out and kind of didn't age the same way. So it kind of stayed up to date with in electronic music, everything becomes old very quickly, I find.
Yeah.
And there's new trends all the time. And going that path, it felt like it was so different that it kind of kept something interesting over the years. So I decided to dig a bit deeper into it, and then so I did this Requiem EP first. That was kind of like an homage EP to Mozart's Requiem.
Ooh, yeah.
And it really worked like crazy. So then I was like, okay, I kind of have to push even deeper into that direction. And I remember even for that specific EP, we wanted to work with an orchestra, but it was just too complicated, too pricey. And we started hitting up some people, but no one was really interested, and it was really complicated. And it's only after that EP that kind of everything felt like it was possible.
Yeah.
So we worked just a bit harder, and then once we felt like we were ready to work with an orchestra, we decided to go full with a full album instead of going for a short format.
Yeah.
And, it took years, but that's pretty much how it went.
That's so cool. Well, you got to get your most out of it. I mean, if you're gonna get that orchestra together in a room, like, go for gold. Don't just do it halfway.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a lot of work. Like, I don't think I've worked so much on music. It's almost like, at some point you're like, is this even worth it? Like, what are we doing? Like,
dude, I have to say yes. That album is amazing. Yeah. What was it like to compose? How do you even know how to do such a thing? Like, that takes so much. You got to know the difference between your treble clef and your bass clef and be ready to write different parts for all the different instruments and sections. Like, how long did it take you just to do that?
Well, I had some like basic knowledge because I studied it at Concordia when I arrived in Montreal. So I had a bit of knowledge of like orchestration and like composing specifically for certain parts of orchestra. However, I suck in music theory. Like, so writing partitions for me is like, I've done it for the Requiem EP because we ended up recording a string quartet, and so writing partitions for like 4 strings I managed, but even for 4 strings I made a lot of mistakes. So for this orchestra, we decided to hire someone that like his job was just to translate everything.
Oh, cool.
So that because when there is like 69 people like in front of you reading partitions, you cannot, like, you don't have the time to allow yourself to have like even one mistake in the sheets. So we had someone that was taking care of that. So what I had to do was just compose all of it and making sure it's possible to be played. And so I was really more focusing on that than like on writing partitions.
Wow. Do you play any classical instruments yourself?
No.
No?
I'm actually quite bad at any instrument. I used to play drum when I was younger, and that's how I got introduced to music. But I'm quite bad. Even my piano skills are really bad. I guess that's why I just went deep into production, because I wanted to have all the instruments. I didn't want it to spend any time on one instrument specifically.
Yeah.
It just, at some point you kind of have to choose, do you want to spend like hours and hours a day working on a skill for an instrument, or you just want to have all the instruments,
Yeah. All the instruments and more.
Yeah, because at the end with a computer you can play any instrument. It's just in the box, but you can compose for all of it.
Yeah, and didn't you study sound design and like beyond sound design? You studied some sort of crazy like I don't remember what it's called. Some sort of acoustics.
It's still music. Yeah. And there's nothing like quite beyond sound design, but yeah, I guess it's like traditional sound design for like post production and like movie SFX and stuff like that. And that's actually how I started after studying. I had an actual day job where I was just doing that. But that's almost something different. I guess at that time I was still more interested in sound design than composition, and that's why I felt like electronic music was cool because you have a lot more freedom on like sound designing your stuff more than the composition, because the composition part in most electronic music is really basic.
Yeah, yeah. Say it. You don't have to be nice. A lot of them are
not going to say so. It is quite basic, but basic is a cool instinct that we all love, and I'm the first one to simplify things because I love it for the sake of it.
Yeah, it really sounds like you love to simplify things when you're working with a 69-piece orchestra. Yeah,
but I mean, it depends what you're gonna. You could have an orchestra playing something quite simple on the composition side. It's almost two different things. While you can have crazy complex harmonies and have them play complicated stuff, it's like the composition side and then the recording sides are almost like two different things.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like I wanted to build a bridge between those two dimensions. You have people that strictly listen to like pop music and electronic music and stuff, and then you have people that likes classical music and the complexity of those compositions. And I enjoy kind of building a bridge between both. So it's because I feel like it's kind of sad that there is two different worlds, and there is only in soundtracks for movies that you often hear these like songs that are a bit in between. Because for movies you get a lot of orchestrations and they tend to push the production and the composition a lot like deeper than we do for like normal music that we listen to, and that's why now that I've composed this, people are like, oh, but this sounds like it should be in a movie. It's like,
right.
Well, actually, it could be, but I like the fact that there's not only in movies that you can have that kind of cinematic moods and that complexity in music.
What did it feel like being in that room when the orchestra started to play these songs? I mean, it gives me a little bit of goosebumps watching the documentary you made, but how did it feel for you?
But it's funny because like a lot of people ask me that question because obviously I got filmed when I was in the room and they were playing, but actually I was in the studio most of the time. So like during the entire recording, I wasn't in the room. I was in the studio downstairs, so I could listen to all the recordings.
Yeah.
So I wasn't with the orchestra. I could only hear like speakers playing. And it's only towards the end when I was satisfied with all the recordings and everything that I was like, okay, I have to go up. I have to listen to it. So it was really like, okay, I'm satisfied. We can have another few takes, but I'm going up and I want to experience it. So it's that short moment you see in the documentary where I'm in the room. It was actually just like one song, and it went really quick. So it was a crazy experience to be able to hear, that those compositions that you wrote, like suddenly being played by so many people. But it was really short in time. It was like they did it and it was done, and I had to go back in the studio and.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got to experience that at all, because that's such a special moment, and you were really smart to have oh gosh, I better not miss this entirely. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, the people I was working with were also like saying you should take a moment to to listen to it in the room, and I was also the one like kind of like, no, I want to make sure it sounds good, like through the microphones and everything.
Well, you can't ever take off your producer hat. You're like, oh, it's my baby. Like, I want this to sound right.
Yeah, it was quite stressful. But yeah, the minute when they started playing, the stress was kind of relieved because I could hear directly that everything sounded like the way we programmed it. So yeah, that was a big relief.
I love that your Twitter bio says you like your music hard and majestic. I feel like that's the understatement of the century.
It's an understatement?
Well, because like I don't know if I've heard anything quite so hard and majestic at the same time. You've hit the nail on the head.
But, you know, it's so hard. People always ask me, like, what kind of music do I do? And I can never really answer the question.
Yeah.
And maybe since now I have an album that has a lot of classical music, I can at least say classical music. But before that, I did a lot of other things, so I couldn't really say that.
I love the idea that you'd say classical.
Sorry?
I love that you would say classical. Please do.
I mean, I am at the moment because it's a bit more obvious, but it wasn't always that obvious.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to push too much the classical side because I don't want to be a fraud for the actual people from the classical world.
Yeah.
So far, like, I know I receive a lot of feedback from that world that is quite positive. So it doesn't make me feel like a fraud, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to step on anyone's foot, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the word majestic came to life after the song Majesty, and that everyone was saying it sounded majestic. I felt like it's kind of a neutral term that kind of, explain it. You know, it's a word when you think of something that would sound majestic, it might sound like that.
Yeah.
But it's maybe a bit harder. That's why I kept the hard majestic.
Well, it's funny because, you know, naming the album Renaissance, I read that for you, it has a lot to do with how the Renaissance was kind of a new era for humanity and for arts. But I also feel it was such a good term to pick because the art from that period is majestic and yet brutal. I mean, the scenes that are being depicted, sometimes they're lush and gorgeous, and then sometimes they're kind of horrifying. Did you take a lot of inspiration from the actual art of that period during the time?
I definitely do. I love like more the classical period of paintings, as well as the Baroque and the Renaissance. But in terms of, I think there is a lot of people that always talk about the Renaissance, but they forget that right before the Renaissance you had the Baroque period, which was like late of the Middle Age kind of, and it was kind of a bit more brutal but more religious in some ways, and because of the church and like they would do paintings to scare people and say this is evil, this is hell and stuff like that. And so there is a lot of like pretty brutal paintings that have been done before the Renaissance that kind of inspires me as well. But definitely, I just like the idea of the Renaissance as people kind of stepping out of the religious values and a really dark period for humanity that was just not productive in some ways, and suddenly everything kind of got like open again, like people started thinking again, not just following rules by the church, and I found that very very interesting about the Renaissance. And it's like breaking codes, and suddenly we are free to think the way we want, and like
totally the first like real intellectual social rebellion of sorts, or one of them, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel that this process broke some codes for you? Maybe some modes of thinking that you were stuck in, and then all of a sudden you had kind of an eye-opening experience through this? Did you learn anything about yourself or change the way you made music beyond just working with an orchestra? Like, did this break something free in your own mind?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. I guess as an artist, you're always scared to step out of stuff that is better conventional, because when something works, you know, I think it's in every field like that. When you have a formula that works, it's really hard to step out of it, and that's something really dangerous as an artist, because you can step out of it and then disappear, or you can step out of it to build something else. And I was always scared and really cautious about those steps, because I was to a certain degree successful in what I was doing, but I felt like I wanted to do different things, and I was really scared to step out of that kind of mold of like, you know, I'm a DJ and I do these kind of shows with that kind of crowd.
Yeah.
what if I'm gonna, fuck it all and just do a bunch of things that I feel like doing, but that, I'm not really sure how it's going to translate concretely in like to a crowd and to fans and to a world that pays my bill at the end of the day. So
yeah, it's putting your whole career on the line a little bit to take such a risk.
Yeah, it's a bit, that's definitely scary. And I think when you're asking me what was like kind of eye-opening or anything, for me it was the fact that when you do step out of those formulas and you do what you feel, if you put the amount of work that will bring your vision to life, it's I mean, in my case it was really like it really paid off. So it really motivates me now to go even like deeper into it and really do what I want, but just put the work so that it works.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What does that mean? What do you really want to do? What's the next step? Like, how do you take this deeper?
Well, the thing is now I just opened the door, and there's a lot of things that haven't been quite done. I can do bigger. I can do. I was talking about the bridge that I'm building between two worlds, and I want to keep exploring that and try to bring more live instruments on shows, possibly an orchestra, and find a ways to bring an orchestra to a festival. Even though it has been done in some ways, but I feel like no one has really composed stuff that was meant for both and presented live. There is a lot of work to do in that direction, and it's quite an unknown path. As like the stuff that has been done in that field are like very experimental, and I feel like there is a lot to be done. As well as now I stepped the door in more like the movie side of things, where I made start scoring. I've been in contact with people that hit me up for like dance shows. Composed like formats that are just
like a classical dance kind of performance or a modern dance kind of performance.
I think because it's electronic. Even though someone literally asked to like create a story and write music for like a modern ballad, but I feel more comfortable into something that is like not too old fashioned and just like more with something contemporary. But all that to say, this album really opened a lot of doors for me, and I can kind of goes in all directions. But I want to definitely keep doing shows, even though right now I can't.
Yeah. You just have more time to plan for the shows of the future. They'll be even better.
That's literally what I'm doing. So
sick. Yeah. Ashley is very excited at the idea of an orchestra at a festival. She said 3 OMGs and a ton of emojis. Cool. Before I get into questions that people have been sharing in the chat, I want to ask, today on Twitter, you teased that a bass legend has remixed you, and that's coming out tomorrow. Are you able to share with us anything about that? What song, what bass legend?
So it all went really quick. That's why it was like a quick tweet. Thing is, like, we literally asked if we were able to hint, and technically I'm not able to do any hint, but it's tomorrow, so it's gonna come out like very quickly. I guess maybe I'm gonna get in trouble for it, but the only hint I could do is this person has a mixtape coming out tomorrow, and that's how he's kind of gonna premiere that remix.
Oh, cool! Any sleuths in the chat? Any sleuths want to guess?
Also, I think on Facebook we might have posted something about it that is another clue. But
okay, fun. I love breadcrumbs.
But yeah, I'm not 100% sure because I didn't do that post. It was my team that did it for me because I'm obviously here. Okay, but yeah, we might be able to. Yeah, if it's on Facebook now, I think.
I don't want to even try to look at Facebook right now because my computer is already like having a total schizophrenic episode with the streaming.
But yeah, he's a legend in like, especially in North America. The shows that he's doing are like massive. Like,
oh my god, that's so exciting! How does it feel to have someone like that want to remix your work? Do you still get like geeked out and fanboy?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's kind of like a validation that whatever the fuck you're doing is kind of working. So yeah, it's great.
That's
it's
cool.
like the best.
Oh, okay. Well, Mashignon says that it was announced while you started the stream. So I'm just gonna say, is it Bassnectar?
Well, there you go.
There you go. It's okay, that's amazing, dude. That's fucking crazy. And like, I happen to know that he's very particular about his sound design as well. So that is a big like, hell yeah. Wow. Have you heard it?
He's been a legend since forever.
Yeah,
like,
for
I
real.
remember when I was a kid. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Have you heard his remix?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I did.
What song is it? Oh my god, can you just tell me everything?
It's the one you like. It's the one with the music video.
Oh, the Good News or Uebok?
Uebok.
Uebok. Oh my god. That, honestly, again, I can't gush about that video enough. Chris wants to hear about your trip to Chernobyl with the photographer Adrian Villagomez. I'd like to hear about your trip to Chernobyl. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy. It's also kind of a weird concept to go there.
Yeah, is it safe? Like, are you glowing?
Yeah, it is. It is totally safe. Now it was, I played Kiev, which is like not too far, and I knew because like some people we met there went there as well, like to Chernobyl and Pripyat, which is the city next to it. So we knew there were like some touristic trips there, and we felt like, well, like we have to go kind of like now because we are here. We were there for like 4 or 5 days in Kiev, so we decided like really like the day before we just called and we said, hey, can we can we just book that like tickets to go there? And we kind of didn't know what to expect, and it was a bit strange because I feel like it has like a sober, like kind of a dark history, and now they're making like profit, like in a touristic way.
Interesting.
And you get to see like these ghost towns from like all these people that had to leave, and then it's a bit strange to be honest. It's pretty crazy, and it's a crazy experience that you kind of want to do. But at the same time, you do it, and you're like, "Is this normal that you're able to do it?"
Dude,
also,
I feel you. I went to the DMZ at the border of North and South Korea, and that too is like a dark ass place to be. But then while you're there, they're selling like gun-shaped magnets that you can take home, or like wine from North Korea, and it's like I feel dirty. What is happening?
It's kind of strange.
You know?
I'm not sure how I feel about about that kind of tourism, but I guess we just wanted to do it. Also, the way to do it, I feel like over the months, it's really gonna get trashed, and like the place is not gonna be the same in a few months just because of that tourism. The way they're doing it. If they're not structuring it and making it like really organized, it's just going to be a mess, and it's just going to like turn into trash.
Yeah. Did you see any of the animals? I've heard the animals have like taken it over, and some of them are kind of green tinted. I don't know if that's true.
I think that's only in The Simpsons.
Okay. Yeah, it's still really cool that you got to go there.
Yeah, the nature definitely took over, and that's in a crazy way though. It's like I remember at some point we were in this forest, and the guy says, "Okay, so you see there, and you could see like some wooden like the sides. It's like the spot where everyone can sit on the football. It's like soccer field, and it was just there in the forest, and then he says, "Oh, this used to be an Olympic stadium."
Wow.
And you know yourself, and you're like, "Wait, we're in the forest." So because there was no concrete, the forest just like
wow
took over.
That's so cool.
And it's pretty crazy. Even places where you have concrete, you have like trees that came out of like the concrete, and like it's really more like all the bushes and like the trees have really like morphed into the city in a pretty impressive way.
I love that. That's what's happening slowly outside right now. No one's going outside. Action Jacket says, this isn't a question, but Lacrimosa is his favorite song. So I don't know if you want to say anything about Lacrimosa.
It's kind of one of my personal favorite as well.
Cool.
I don't know, like that. There is like some magic in that song. It's very dark and sad and dramatic in the way that I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Everybody make sure you drop your questions. If John Marco's got questions, we're going to take them now. What are some of your proudest moments on Renaissance? I love the way that you blended so much hip-hop with all the classical. You've got a couple of like epic dubstep moments, but you really pushed yourself on this, I feel. Are there moments in particular that you want to tell a story about or shout out?
I guess it was definitely a challenge to go in all these directions, and I guess it came out in a coherent way, and that's definitely something that like makes me happy at the end of the day, because while I'm doing it, I feel like this song could be cool with these influences like dubstep, hip hop, or like electro, like whatever you mix in. And I always want to do everything, and sometimes you kind of have to step back and see, okay, but is this worth it? Is this gonna fit with the rest? And it was a big struggle and challenge for me to keep that vision and not like go in all directions. I did, but it's kind of worked, and it was a bit hard, but I'm glad it still, because of like those classical elements, it's still coherent as a whole.
Yeah, that classical running through everything gave it the foundation it needed to all be related, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tried to do. Yeah,
the glue that ties it together.
Yeah.
T says, any advice on getting started producing, remixing, or composing? That's a lot of stuff.
That's a new subject. We could spend another full stream on that. To shorten, I guess it might sound stupid, but to just start it, like to have the tools you need to do it, which is basically just a computer and a DAW these days, and then just start messing around. And then while you mess around, just every time you're encountering like a problem, an issue, just look it up on YouTube or on Google how to do that, and then slowly build from there. And every time you want to do something, look it up how to do it, and then eventually you're just gonna get lost and learn a lot of things, and you're gonna be started.
I heard you started on trusty old Fruity Loops. Is that what you still use?
No.
Yeah.
Fruity Loops is great. Like, I have nothing against it. I just went through so many different DAWs over this last decade and a half. Fruity was just really easy, and it was my sister that like installed it on my computer. My older sister, and because she wanted to produce like hard tech music back in the days, I remember. But yeah, for me it was kind of a game, like I was just opening my dad's computer and the program was there and you could click there and it made a beat, so it was really easy. But like my dad had Cubase installed on that computer.
Oh wow.
For me, Cubase and Fruity Loops were two different things, because Cubase was more for like recording instruments and stuff like that, and Fruity Loops was to create beats. And I never understood that it was actually the same thing. It's like only later on that I actually did the switch from Fruity Loops messing around to just being in something that was back then called a bit more professional, even though Fruity Loops has always been pretty killer as a DAW. I don't know. Do you do a bit of production?
Me? I've played around with it before. Actually, I grew up playing clarinet, so I have a really soft spot for you working with this orchestra in this way.
Oh, I get it now.
And I still like to play my clarinet sometimes. I was going to say, would you ever consider sharing some sheet music from Renaissance?
Yeah, I actually have them pretty close by. Like,
Yes, I would love to see that. You should give that to the world.
wait. Yeah, they're here.
Yo, that is so cool. Oh my gosh.
You find the clarinet part. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can read it, but this is the clarinet line of the song that was called back then. Distance was called Beyond.
Oh, okay.
Back was it before the lyrics and everything? When I wrote like only the song, it was called Beyond for some reason, and then we called it Distance after the lyrics when we were parking in. But yeah, like everything is in there. The entire
That's
album.
so rad. How cool that you have sheet music of your album. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I took them out because we were thinking about doing like a giveaway and
yeah.
Bands, at least like a few pages. I definitely want to keep some, but with that it could be cool to give it to some fans.
Yeah. Yo, give me those clarinet parts. I'll lay them down. I swear. I don't have my clarinet right now, so I can't do it. I can't sight read, but right now I can sight read.
But you know, have you played in like with other people in an orchestra, or was it just like what kind of stuff were you playing?
Yeah, I was in the school band, so it wasn't a full orchestra with a string section. We just had like brass, woodwinds, and percussion. And I was also in marching band in high school, out there on the American football fields doing my thing.
Okay, all right.
Full
Yeah,
band
I look
nerd.
at this now, and it feels boring to play as like a single instrument. It's
Right,
like
yeah, you kind of need the whole group for sure.
Yeah, it was really composed to be in a group, and like maybe if you just play the clarinet, it's maybe not going to be like that.
I saw there were a bunch of whole notes there.
Yeah, exactly.
Lowly Pop says, big fan here. Can you tell me how the last remix with Matt Korsmus came to be?
Yeah, so it's not even out yet.
Oh, okay. She's on that fucking front wave over here. Or he.
Well,
I'm
I
not sure.
literally announced it like today. Was it today or yesterday? So many things happened today. It was today. I just announced it today. Anyway, it's actually a song. The first few times I went to Russia, some friends showed me the song, and for some reason, I kind of got obsessed with that song. It's just kind of like a cool mix of like pop, like Russian vocals with like a really badass trap beat. And I just love the song, and I played it once at Alpha Future, a big festival there, and like people really freaked out during the drop and everything. And then people are like, kind of as a joke, said like, "Yo, you should remix that song. Everyone knows it, and it's sick." And I was like, you know what? I love this song too. This is worth like, spreading it outside of the Russian borders.
Yeah.
So we got in contact with Max Korsch, the guy that did the song. And he was really motivated to like give the stems and for me to do a remix.
So cool.
But at first it was more like, okay, I'm just gonna do like this edit remix so I can play it out. I played it in Kiev at the show I was talking about earlier.
Oh wow!
And then now since like everything the world is like on the break, and I have this remix, and a lot of people ask for it. I'm like, I might as well just release it.
Yeah, so, let it loose. Yeah. Let it into the world.
How it happened.
You seem like you have a really strong tie to Russia. What is your love affair with Russia all about?
I don't know. I guess it's because I was always very welcome there. Like all the shows were always so sick, and I don't know. There was something really cool about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're so. It's like almost a different world. Like they don't seem as connected with like Europe and North America. That I don't understand why not.
Yeah.
Obviously because of the language barrier, but because I got in contact and I really went like kind of deep in the culture. I was like, I have a lot of friends there now. I'm really interested with the whole thing, and I like to share it in some ways. more than I would share, for example, my French heritage or or like anything else that has been shared with the world. A lot of times, I feel it's cooler.
Yeah, I want to go. I'm ready to go. Your Uebok video makes me want to go like yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Uebok, it's pretty much on there.
Yeah. Ashley says, what emotions did you feel while hugging the bear during the making of that music video?
Well, talking about emotions, I was so tired. So tired. And you can see it in the music video. I'm dead.
Yeah. That's why you needed all that coffee, dude.
I was literally drinking, like, coffee because of it. Because, like, I didn't sleep for days. We were shooting that music video. We were partying. It was just hectic.
Oh, my God. What were you partying? What were you doing partying? Partying with the tank?
No, so the tank was like daytime activities, but
it's just casual daytime. The nighttime is what too hot for TV.
Yeah, and like you can party quite hectically in Moscow. But yeah, that emotion. I guess I didn't have any emotion. I was just really tired, and I had to do it because like it was the plan. You have to hug the bear. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it, and I did it. And I'm like, okay, this is normal, and I didn't feel anything. It was like I was a robot. Like,
that's so funny.
Everything is fine. I'm just gonna have my coffee.
This is fine. This is normal. I'm hugging a bear. I'm lighting a cigarette with a fucking. What do you even call that? I love that.
I don't even know the name of it. It's like I don't know.
Oh, that was amazing. You knocked it out of the park with that one. Oh, I don't know if this counts as a question, but Ripsturk841 says, love your album. I put my headphones on and start dreaming. I'm flying airplanes. I'm fighting. I'm driving in my dream. All because my mindset is set on your music. Look at that. Taking people places.
That's really cool to hear. Well, thank you. That's the best compliment you can give me. I like to help out with like dreaming.
Yeah.
That's what like inspires me all the time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone. Because when you dream or when you get like, outside of reality, you're somehow creating, a dream. You're creating something, and you need inspiration for that. And I guess I get my inspiration from a lot of things to be able to create that afterwards. And I enjoy the fact that it's kind of like being recycled all the time. Like, you're gonna create something that will inspire someone to create and to do something else, and that's why I talk like in the documentary, for example, a lot about like people that dance on the music, that draws.
I love those videos.
Yeah, everything gets recycled and people get inspired by each other. Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Action Jacket says, can you tell us more about your approach to starting a new song? What happens in the first 20 minutes and the next couple of hours?
So it's really the same, like what I was just talking about, like about the inspiration. I feel like the first 20 minutes is all about that. It's when you get inspired by something. It could be a movie, other music, or like painting or anything that kind of triggers an emotion. It's gonna like motivate you to create something that is related to that emotion, and I guess that's how I put it into the 21st minutes of the song, and if it works, if you can extract that emotion and actually lay it down in, for me it's most of the time in chords, and just the chords and then the texture that I'm gonna apply to the chords. Once I add that, usually in the first like 20 minutes, then I get lost for hours, just like trying things out, trying tempos, trying beats that comes on it, trying textures that you can add to it, and then trying different ways to expand those chords into melodies, into different harmonies, and that's pretty much how it evolves from just being like a first like inspiration to a full song.
How do you know when a song is done? Because I feel like that has to be such a wild thing to be able to step away from it and say, that's it, I'm done, hands up. Yeah,
it's done when your manager is behind your ass, like asking like where's the album? And then you have your fans being like, oh, you said winter 2020 and it's almost over. And
yeah,
you're like,
man.
fuck, I'm not done.
That's why you can't give too much away, man, because then they start hounding you for it.
Yeah, so you try not to rush things and to just like finish it, but it's never quite finished. You just at some point have to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And the game is to not let go too soon, so you can actually have something that is as finished as possible.
Ripstork wants to know if you've ever considered coming to Romania.
Yeah, I definitely consider it, and I think we were talking to some people to get it to actually do a show there, but it never quite happened yet. But it's definitely in consideration, and hopefully after this whole thing.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be coming through with a whole ass orchestra.
Yeah. If I could actually tour with an orchestra, which would be really pricey and
oh my gosh,
realistic at this point, but it would totally be well.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
Aliwia. Trying. What's your favorite memory of recording Renaissance?
Good question. I mean, I think the orchestra, the recording of the orchestra was by far the craziest part, and probably the coolest memory, just because it was new, and it was kind of out of like this world of like things that I've lived. It was just brand new. So that was definitely my best memory. Otherwise, shooting the music videos is always really fun.
Yeah, in the documentary you say you did a video in Japan, but I didn't see that one on YouTube unless I just missed it. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, you remember when I was saying like when fans are asking you, so you said that, and like, well, where is it? Like,
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine because I'm happy to say that it's actually almost done, like 90% done.
Cool.
More. We actually already have a version, and we've set a date that we're gonna release it, and we're just waiting on the final like color grading and stuff like that. So
cool.
It's
you know that's
key. What?
I was saying, that's key because Japan is just a neon paradise.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of neon in that music video. But yeah, so it's done, and we're gonna release it soon. It was planned to be released after the album and after the documentary as well.
What song is it for? Did you say?
It's for Behind My Eyes with Leah. So,
yeah.
I don't think I've announced it like anywhere yet that it was for that specific song, but I feel comfortable.
Yeah. Well, you can't take it back. You can't all of a sudden change what song it is. So at least there's that much is sure.
There you go.
Freestyle IEC, Freestyle Uebok. I'm so bad at these names. I'm so sorry, everybody. He was gassed for the Joyride Brave album, and then didn't feel they got what they wanted from it. And then you dropped Renaissance, and they were like, "How the hell is this so good? Every single track is straight fire. They can't believe it. Magnificent job. Keep it up." Again,
thank you so much.
Again, not really a question, but just a gushing review. Positive.
Yeah. It's sick. Well, thanks a lot. And I love the Joyride's Brave album.
Yeah, I loved it too.
He actually has some classical bits in a few of his songs too that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Both of you guys brought such a cinematic element to the albums, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a legend.
Heavy Dirty Sound wants to know if there will be a chance that you visit Poland. Everyone just wants you to go on tour.
I know. You get often asked that, like, hey, can you come here? And thing is, you always want to go everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that you don't want to go. It's like, get at your promoters, son. Like.
Exactly. It's not only up to me. I mean, it's actually not up to me. It's you need to find someone in that country that wants to bring me and to throw a show there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have the resources to promote a show there myself. It's not my job either.
Yeah, yeah, you're busy doing a lot of other stuff. I would love to hear, as we're all stuck inside, I think we cherish parts of the outside world that maybe we took for granted. Is there a show memory that is keeping your heart warm right now, or something that you didn't know you would miss and now you suddenly miss?
Yeah, I try not to think too much about that and torture myself about
Sorry.
The past times where you could tour, and it almost feels like it wasn't real, like it was like a different reality.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've been so used, like it's been a month and a half now. I'm like here in quarantine. Yeah, I've been so used to being quarantined now that I almost forgot like what it was like to travel and to be on tour. It's pretty crazy.
I know.
So like the kind of memories that they're like really vague by now. They're almost like they don't exist. It's really strange. I don't know how to explain it. I guess once I will be able to travel, it's gonna like kick in again.
Yeah, and then this will feel like a dream, like a really strange dream.
Indeed, yeah. But right now it's our reality, so I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. And there is a big part about traveling that over the years I got kind of not sick of it, but that the waiting in airports and planes, and after a while it gets really exhausting, and that's really like I'm not missing it almost, but like I can almost miss the crying babies in the plane, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that's when you know you've really been inside for a long ass time. I just want to hear a screaming baby. Have you picked up any new hobbies in quarantine? Is there anything you're doing to pass the time?
Well, I've been really busy with the album release and everything. But like in the last week and a half, it was slightly a bit more chill. So I could take a bit of time. It actually just stopped because like right now, today and for the next 5 days, I have a lot to do. But in that last week and a half, yeah, it was so chill that I even did a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Wow. What was it a picture of?
It's actually on the table right now, but I'm so ashamed that I'm not going to show it. Otherwise, I've been cooking a lot.
Nice.
Like I've never cooked that much.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Everyone's becoming a chef all of a sudden.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of scary for all the restaurants out there, but yeah.
I know. Well, Rampage, Nico, and Ashley say they are really hoping they get to see you soon. They were going to go to Dance Festopia, and it was going to be one of their first times. I just wanted them to get their message to you.
Yeah, well, I'm so sad. I'm sorry. Dance Festopia is probably not happening. I don't even know if it's like officially canceled yet, or if it's maybe it's going to happen. It's quite late this summer, so maybe we have a chance. I don't know. But thank you, and hopefully I will be back near Dallas soon.
Well, if there's anything else you want to share with us, if anyone wants to put in a last-minute question, I am open to that. I really thank you for coming on the show with me today and spending a bit of your afternoon with me, afternoon, evening, whatever. No, we're in the same time zone. It's your afternoon.
Same time zone, yeah. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my absolute pleasure. I thank you also for sitting with me through the weird technical difficulties. The video is definitely laggy, but everyone heard us talking, which is great. That's what's important.
Literally not. Yeah.
When I do, someone wants to know when the last time was you did a backflip. Have you ever?
A proper one, or like just a drunk one?
Ooh, drunk ones. You gotta watch out for that.
No, I've actually done one in the snow like this winter, but like a really, really shaky one, you know, like not the kind you're proud of, but
oh yeah, the one that makes you go, I gotta stop doing this. Too old.
Yeah, exactly. But then a proper one, I don't know, since like 10 years or something like that.
And Super Majukt wants to thank you for work featuring Young Buck.
Oh, he wants to thank me for that?
That's what he said.
Okay, because like that's a whole other story. But the song is gone with Young Buck, so we had to replace the vocals.
Oh,
Because of,
okay.
like, a whole thing that happened with like G Unit like attacking us.
Oh yeah. That's kind of scary. Yo, fucking G Unit. Like, yo, G Unit. No.
Yeah, no, indeed. Like, you know, I have no like link with any of your beefs. You know, like.
Yeah. Like,
But anyway,
it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50 Cent's lawyer, so like,
Right.
we were pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want it to fuck around, so and we couldn't really talk to Young Buck because he's in prison. So.
Oh
just,
yeah.
So
That's
we
crazy,
just,
yo.
played vocals, and I'm really sorry for all the fans that enjoyed the Young Buck version. I wish we could have kept it, but it was really, really hard to deal with that situation.
That's the thing. There's so much stuff behind the scenes that people don't even really know is going on, and it's tough. Yeah. Okay, well.
But I love the new version, and Bill Williams really did a great job. I like the new version as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited to hear this Bassnectar remix tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's even at midnight tonight. So.
Oh, wow. We barely have to wait. Set the clock. That's so cool. Any final messages to everyone that you'd like to share?
Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and that crazy support so far. It's been pretty insane.
You did such a great job. The album is really fantastic. I was listening to it before we got on the call today, and I was just like, I had my headphones on. I was losing it. I was smiling. At times I wanted to cry. It was really so good.
Yeah, and everyone stay safe and wash your hands.
Oh yeah, washy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
When we hang up, we're gonna watch the good news video. Would you like to say anything about that video? It's got a really crazy concept.
Yeah, it's a bit like to everyone's interpretation about like the concept, I guess, but because we went quite deep, so we enjoyed people kind of trying to find out themselves and then like discussing it in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Because we went a bit like abstract and deep into it, but at the end of the day, it's a good news.
Yeah, good news. We're taking over.
Oh my god, right. Crazy times.
I know. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your time. Thank you for rocking with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Anytime, I'm down to chat. Your music is fantastic, and I can't wait to see what comes out of this next chapter in your incredible career next. How you continue to bridge this divide between classical and electronic. Front row seat, right here.
All right. Yeah. Well, and enjoy good news, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks again.